For many of you, the long-awaited moment is here. We finally got Daredevil in your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And I gotta say, it's just like Echo, which I think is really funny. But starting off with episode 6 for this week, as we had 3 episodes drop again, Duel with the Devil, we do in fact get Daredevil, played by Charlie Cox. And yeah, this feels kind of just like Echo. However, we did get the Netflix theme and the Netflix music for almost the entire fight. And that was it was fun to hear. I always love the Daredevil Netflix theme. I think it's really well done. And the fight here, I think it could have been better. I am glad they showed Daredevil being the more experienced one of the two, because he for sure is, even back in 2016, 2017, wherever Civil War in this show takes place. But I do think the fight on Spider-Man's side was perhaps a little bit lacking. I wish they showed a little bit more. I mean, this is animation. You have two of the most acrobatic heroes. I think I was expecting just a little bit more, and the Spider-Man's spider sense seems to be a bit plot convenient. It doesn't work in all situations. It just kind of only works when the plot needs it. So that's a little and it was very much shown here in this fight. But he does actually have a spider sense. It just wasn't really shown here, which is weird. I mean, we see it in the opening credits. We see it in other scenes. I don't get why it wasn't shown here. I do like how Peter and Nico had a bit of a falling out. I think that does make sense given what Harry told her, but I wish Peter told her himself. That's something that we said in our last video. That's something I really, really wanted. I wanted him to tell her. I wanted them to have this dialogue. Still didn't have that. I know that this episode needed to happen. We had Norman Osborn backing Spider-Man this entire time, so of course he's going to be used as a corporate tool. We knew this. We knew Osborn was using him. But damn, does it suck to see it on screen? I get that Osborn's keeping Peter's identity secret, but he's essentially selling Peter to the government, and not to mention he's using Peter for his own gain. We knew this was going to happen. Absolutely knew it. But I wish it didn't. I wish Peter was smarter. I know he has to go through this. I know everything makes sense. It's just the second hand watching from outside perspective, just god damn it. I wish it didn't have to happen, but it has to happen for character growth. So I'm honestly all here for it because I love Spider-Man. I like him getting character growth. This episode, I think overall was good. It wasn't as great as it could have been or should have been. It's nowhere near the first 2 episodes, but I do think it was better than the last week's set that was released. I think all 3 of these episodes were better than last week's set. Episode 7, I think, is even better than episode 6. Episode 7, we get Scorpion, and we get, well, accurate Scorpion, as we've seen him in the previous set, but now we see him in his full suit, and I gotta say, that fight and that scene was so fucking cool. I absolutely loved it. I loved how we see Scorpion overcome with his desire to get revenge on the 101st Street Gang, get revenge on Lonnie, get revenge on Don, and Pearl in the wrong place at the wrong time when we get the talk that in the discovery that needed to happen between Lonnie and Pearl and their conflict. But just the fight with Scorpion and the fight with Spider-Man was just so well done. That's the sort of caliber of fight I wanted between Spider-Man and Daredevil. But for time restrictions, I guess I just couldn't do it. But I liked Gorgon and how, like, even through the heat and through the pain, he did not give a single fuck. And how he was a lot tougher than Spider-Man anticipated. Because Spider-Man's gotten cocky. He's gotten a bit arrogant, and this definitely shows in this episode. So I'm very happy that Scorpion showed him what's up and kicked the shit out of him. And we also got the tease that Norman will likely become Green Goblin, as we got his glider coming in. I like that. I like that a lot, and I think that there was a lot of foreshadowing and a lot of things that are going to come from this episode, as Norman is so focused on finding Octavius that it's very evident, and in case you guys didn't know this from before, he does not give 2 fucks about Peter. Never has. He's just here to turn Spider-Man into his own personal gain. And of course, we see that super prevalently here, just trying to hunt down Octavius. And I'm I'm liking it. I'm liking we're finally getting out of Osborn's shadow, where Spider-Man's becoming more of his own hero. And I gotta say, contrary to what I said last week, Harry's starting to grow on me. I'm liking him a little bit more. I like as we see him more, he's becoming more than just the man at the desk, becoming more than just Ned from the MCU. He's becoming much more of his own character, and I'm very, very happy for that. He's a true friend to Peter. He tries to make up what he damaged with Nico, and I liked their scenes together. I think that was very well done. I like the tease that we saw with Nico's power with the Staff of One around her neck. I'm so here for it. I do hope we get some more of it in next week's season finale. But yeah, Harry's growing on me. I think I like the direction he's going in, and I'm very glad he's in this season as he's starting to fit in a lot more. It's just I think the balancing from last week could have been better, whereas the balancing here is so much better. I'm liking him. Even his design I'm okay with. I think that he's definitely becoming more of his own character, and I'm so here for it. Then the final episode that we got this week was episode 8, Tangled Web. And here, I like this one. I think it's maybe my least favorite one out of the 3, but I really enjoyed it. We got Norman Osborn coming to Peter, giving him an ultimatum about what he has to do. He needs to what he says, he needs to become better, pretty much fully embrace Spider-Man and do Osborn's bidding, or stop it, and they will part ways. Of course, we're going to find out that they're going to part ways, and he's going to become his own hero in his own right, become more self-confident after the Scorpion fiasco as he takes him down again, and become his own person, has his own identity, instead of essentially what happened in the MCU with Spider-Man being underneath Iron Man. He needs to find who Spider-Man is by himself. And in this episode, I like the riff with Norman Osborn saying, with great power comes great respect, because that is definitely an Osborn thing to say, and I like how it mirrors with great power comes great responsibility. I do like seeing more of Harry and Nico. I like how Peter tries to help Lonnie without giving away his identity. I think that is definitely something he would do. And I gotta respect Lonnie for sticking to it with what he said. I mean, he has to finish it out, and sometimes there are just those situations you have to finish. Personally, I wouldn't in this situation, but I get it. We finally get the official appearance of Chameleon, which we knew was going to happen from last week. We got Dimitri. It was only natural we're going to get him here. I like seeing the accurate mask because, God, fuck the Kraven movie. That movie did it so dirty. I'm hoping we get to see more of Chameleon here, and it's actually a good Chameleon rather than just Harry Styles' voice with a prosthetic face. That was fucking weird. One thing I also really liked about this episode is we got to see Otto Octavius, and this is a little bit different from the usual Otto we've seen. I think in this he's a bit more quirky, and I like that. I like that just the subtle changes, so it's not always the same. Given we haven't really seen a comic accurate Otto Octavius yet, this is the most accurate we've seen him. But I like his little quirkiness, the music, the dance. I feel like it adds a little bit to him. I don't necessarily like the babying by his assistant. I wish he was a little bit more independent, but that's the only issue I have. I feel like the show's doing pretty well. I like the arms coming out of the ceiling and the whole fight. I like how we get to see more of Ross. We see Iron Man in this. It's not RDJ, I'm sorry, but it was a really cool scene. It was, even if it's not RDJ, it's just fun seeing the old Avengers, especially in like their 60s outfits. I love that so much. I think this episode was good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm liking the direction this series is going overall. I still think nothing's come close to the first 2 episodes. I think overall this series is good. It's just that going through it, not knowing what's going to happen, I feel like it's losing some points. But upon a rewatch and going through it all at once or in a couple of sittings, I think the show's going to be a lot better. Just because you know what's going to happen, you know the development's going to happen, but this seems to be a lot more of a slow burn show, considering, again, we have 3 seasons confirmed already, that they have a lot planned. You could definitely see a lot of the things set up here that they just we just need to wait for it to happen rather than just expecting it to happen so fast. I am still excited. This is definitely a new iteration of Spider-Man, and I'm very much here for it. It's just the balancing and some of the writing seems to be a little bit wonky for last week, and I'm glad it seems to have fixed itself out. I'm hoping next week has an amazing series finale, as I really want the show to end on a high note, because I don't want them to cancel season 3. Season 2 is already almost done with production. I'm still excited. I still love seeing Spider-Man, even if it's bad Spider-Man. I still love seeing it, so I'm very happy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know what your thoughts are on these 3 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And if for whatever reason you haven't seen our previous reviews for this show, please go check them out up here, and we'll see you guys next time.